Welcome in, Grizzly fans. Today we're going to do a Coach's Corner segment and a little bit of a roundtable discussion here with our fall soccer head coaches as they share their insights on competing at a high level and some of the topics from around the game. So, head women's coach Dominic Martelli, head men's coach Steve DeCoux. Guys, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So we're in the springtime. We're in March. Fall season came and went in the fall. You guys are gearing up for your next season here this fall, the second year. But it's March, so that means NAIA, NCAA, college basketball tournaments, everybody's watching, people playing with a lot of emotion. Players just playing with all their heart and passion. Talk about emotion as it relates to the way the college game is played and specifically for your sports, but how you keep your players from getting too high, getting too low, right in that zone where they can compete and do well for you.
We talk more about the process, the journey versus the destination or the end product, because if you focus on the winning a championship and that's your primary focus, you miss the little things. It's the journey. It's doing everything right daily, do the little things the way you're supposed to, and then in that regard, you look up and you've won 10 games in a row. But you're not focused on the 10 wins, you're focused on, are we getting better every day as a group? And that comes from an individual getting better, to a position group getting better, to the collective group getting better. And when we do that, you turn around and you look back on the season and you see there's a lot more wins than there were losses, but you didn't think about that until it's all said and done. And you just progress, we keep getting better daily, and then hopefully at the end you've won that championship and you can say, kids were much better from where we got them from day one to where they are today at the end of the season.
And I think when you look at a process like Steve has just said, we're in a 4-year process for some students, athletes. We're in a 4-month process. We're in a 4-day process. But the biggest thing that you come across in coaching young ladies is the emotion part of it is distractions. So to help in a lot of distractions is your routine, is building on every day, but also how to not only use the word block out, but how to address your distractions, whether it's a test, whether it's a paper you have to write, whether it's not feeling well, maybe not getting a good night's sleep, some roommate issues. When you talk about all those things and getting your emotions ready for a game to play your best, you have to learn how to deal with those distractions. But getting in a routine, getting yourself improving every day, that helps in dealing with your distractions and helping with your emotions, so that you're not overemphasizing one big game. Oh, this is the best team we're going to play all year, and you've not relied on all the things you've worked on the whole time leading up to that big game. Or when it's one of your weakest teams on the schedule, have you done enough to build that consistency so that you're going to play well no matter who you play, so the emotion is consistent.
So you guys, more often than not this first season, it was a winning streak more than a losing streak, but when you lose a couple in a row, what's the message? How do you get you guys back thinking in that positive frame of mind, whether it's in practice or driving to the game or playing at home? How do you get them back in that mindset of, we're going to be fine, let's do the things we need to do?
Ultimately, I think it comes down to, I got to have better players. If we do our job right now as coaches and we recruit the best talent, that already gives us the advantage going into the game. One of the things we talk about with our kids, if we're playing the weakest team in our schedule, we're going to give them our best performance to help them understand where they need to be. Okay? But if I've got the best talented players, which I think we do, I've got some of the best coaches, and we put in the work we need to, we're probably not going to lose too many games. Now, God forbid we lose a game.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen, yeah. The AUM game, it was a heartbreaker.
Sure.
But we learned, we went back and watched the film and we showed the boys, hey, if you did this here, this, that, there, it was a game of inches. We made a little mistake here, led to their goal. A run was a little early for us. He's offsides. We should have scored. You get them back. It all goes back to the process. If we do what we're supposed to, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win. And this next year, their schedule is going to be better. We're going to have more opportunities to maybe not come out on the winning end of things. But if we do our job now with recruiting, coaching them up in the spring, with our talent, and then doing the job during the fall, I think we're going to be on the positive outcome with our matches.
Coach?
Well, I mean, you lose a game, you're just going to run them the next day as hard as you can. No, I think when we create that environment of learning every day, you're going to learn the good and the bad from every game you play, win or loss. So when you're winning, you got to create the environment that we don't become complacent, but also you want to create the environment that we're playing teams that are either going to be much better next year than what we played this past fall,
sure,
or pretty even. So we can't go in, well, last year this team was not very good, or last year this team was great. Well, we're going to be that much better. We're going to be that much more, together as a program and as individual players as far as teamwork. So if we played a really, really good team last year and didn't have a great result, we can't go in a defeated mode already. We have to go in as we're that much better. So the confidence, that healthy arrogance has to be controlled. We can't go in, well, we're going to blow this team out. So when you talk about win streaks, don't get ourselves ahead of that next game. Create that healthy arrogance in a way where we're going to play ourselves the best way we can.
Sure.
And then let the results speak. Like Steve said, when we play a team that is not as good, or we play a team that is that much better, if we let the scoreboard speak, that's where we create our healthy arrogance. Not because we beat them last year or we just won 5 games in a row. The scoreboard at the end of the game is how we judge our results and our win streak.
So you guys have both been at this for several years now.
Long time.
Some great experience for both of you. Are you still finding every day, whether it's any sport, any level, philosophies from other coaches, other programs, other institutions, like I said, at any level, individual sports, team sports, that you really can draw on and implement into your programs?
I can't speak for Don, but I know for me, I'm always, one of my hobbies when I'm, have some downtime is when I like to read. I don't read Westerns, I don't read sci-fi, I read autobiographies on coaches and their philosophies from different sports. Now I tend to stick to soccer because that's what works for me, but I've taken stuff from John Wooden. I'm reading a book right now by a former NFL football coach who coaches high school, who's kind of different philosophy on coaching from the inside out. To I've read a lot of the professional managers over in Europe, how they do things. But the time you think you know it all is the time you probably need to quit. Because if you don't, you're going to stagnate, and you can learn from everyone. How they deal with success, how they deal with adversity. And so the one thing I've learned after 13 years of being a head coach is I really don't know a lot. And so it's hopefully that appetite to learn more, to learn from my assistants, because I got great assistants who help us, to learning from other sports. Hopefully that's what helps us to become better.
And I think when you grow up, you idolize athletes, you idolize professional players, you idolize international players in our profession, soccer players. I think what really put me in the direction I'm at, and really is my core, my foundation is from my own father. His coaching, the way he is, the knowledge of the game, his passion, but also the off the field stuff. So as a total package, like Steve reads. I don't read. I don't. I talk to people.
Is that Ohio State education?
Yes, when you try to continue to learn, because we are. I don't want to use the word mooch or leeches. We are only as good as what we're willing to learn the next day.
Sure. You're a sponge.
We're a sponge in that sense. We're the ones that will take a kitchen table or a restaurant table and start moving salt and pepper shakers and glasses and forks and create a soccer talk with our figures. And we're not the only ones who do that. I mean, that is kind of what our profession allows, and we build on that from each other. So when we're talking about tactical stuff with different friends in our profession, our own coaches, like Steve said, we're always going to learn. Or we're bringing up, just the other day, I'm bringing up an attitude situation with a coach, and the coach is asking me, and I give him my advice. It's not like we're telling each other whatever we do is the right way of doing it. We share our knowledge, we share our experiences, and let that coach run with it. We'll run with everything we learn, whether it's reading, whether it's talking conversations, whether it's all our experiences, because not one situation in the game of soccer is the same.
Sure.
That's why we don't have plays to run. Well, it's the same thing with teams and cultures and how we all get along. Everything, you have to be flexible, but you also have to have that core, that reality, that who you are is what you're going to represent to your team. And that's what I think we all picked up from all the different people. And I'm not going to use a specific name other than my father of a coach, because there's not one coach we want to follow. We take everybody from a John Wooden to a Coach K to a Dean Smith, just to make certain coaches happy that we included North Carolina in our conversation.
So let's go back a year ago to now, right? So you guys last year were gearing up for your first ever season. There's a lot of unknowns. What's it going to be like? We play the first game. We have our first season. We hit the road for the first time. You've done all that. And now you're in that mode of gearing up for the next big season. You've set the bars pretty high for your own programs. Just compare that mindset right now from a year ago.
Well, I'm not going to speak for Steve, but from Dr. Wilson to the other coaches to ourselves in the same sport, that NAIA National Championship is where we're going. So whether we thought that when we both got hired a year and a half ago, whether we thought that at the end or the beginning of our last season, we're thinking that from the day we got back with our team this spring semester moving forward to get ready for next fall.
Sure.
And when you look at, what are the differences, like I said earlier, everything here is almost like Christmas. Everything we're doing is educating our student athletes in how we are going to run our programs, whether it's the amount of time, whether it's the amount of physicality, whether it's the tactics, but it's also that team bonding. But when you can sell not only these kids that are here and on a recruiting trail, what Georgia Gwinnett is doing as a school, what we're doing as an athletic department with Dr. Dan Wilson as our lead, that's why we're so motivated to continue every day. We might have a different fire we're putting out. We might have a great day, but I can guarantee you there's not too many days that aren't close to being great working here every day.
So, Coach, what are as you're bringing in this next group, the recruiting process never really ends. You've got several players coming back, but what are some of those attributes, those real key things that you think are vital that a young person needs to have to come in and fit in well with the program?
Well, on the field, it's athleticism. We value, speed, some strength, size. We were a bunch of little midgets last year. I love my kids, but we were a little too. The game we lost to AUM, our back line was too small. So we've got about 3 guys coming in who are about 6'3" or bigger. We're not going to get beat in the air next year. But a soccer brain, guys who understand how to play the game, who are gym rats, who want to go out, put in the extra work, and get the maximize their potential. Guys of good character, guys who in the classroom are going to put in that same type of effort. Guys in the community who are going to be positive examples, because we're in entertainment. We want the community, Gwinnett County, Lawrenceville, to come out and support us. If we're not good people, if we're not good players, they're not going to do that. And so we're getting out in the community. We've been to one elementary school. We're going out to another next week. Just trying to put a good product out there. But first and foremost, good athletes who are good people who want to get an education. That's the kind of guys we're looking for, and who want to be a part of this. A year ago, we were selling a vision. Now it's a reality. Instead of showing you a drawing of this is what our facilities are going to look like, I can actually show you real pictures. And almost ready
the
to
real
show
thing.
the real thing. This is going to be our locker room. And so that's the fun part. Now, a year ago, it was excitement, but unknown.
Right.
And now we know. And so that makes it more fun. And the feedback we're getting from recruits, we just got to get them on campus. It sells itself. It's been a great year.
Coach?
Well, I think exactly what Steve said. I mean, the bigger, faster, stronger model of recruiting is funny in a way, but it's true. But I think when we're looking at where we were this time last year, the type of student athlete we were recruiting, we know now that the bigger, faster, stronger is a better player every person we talk to and recruit. We're recruiting a better player every day than what we currently have. I love my team. I think we're a very, very good team. This team will be the core for a long, long time. But everybody we bring in, the 2 or 3 instead of the 25 we started with every year,
Right.
Will be better than what we were recruiting each year from the year before. So, and I think, when you add everything together, the place, the school, the environment, the culture, the teams we currently have, great kids, unbelievable kids, student athletes we want to mentor, student athletes that we know will grasp our core values as leaders of character, both on and off the field, and winning. That's very, very important. And, it's the Georgia Gwinnett way, and there's no reason why we can't continue it and get better every day.
Well, we got to take another tour just a couple of days ago, get some pictures inside the locker rooms. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
The field that was completed in the fall is fantastic playing surface. The things you just touched on, they're a reality. So You guys feeling that? As you mentioned, Coach, it feels like Christmas every day. We're getting close to moving into our building. You guys are going to be having all the rest of the things that complete the space and your needs from a physical standpoint. It's starting to feel pretty special.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. And now the race is on. Who's going to get the first championship? Who gets the first trophy? That was the hard part about this past fall. We were building a program, and that was the exciting part.
Yes.
But November 3rd, we were done. No chance of playing in the postseason. Now, it's made for some great banter with the coaches. Who's going to get that first title? So there's a lot of competition within this department. It's healthy, but we can't wait. I mean, hopefully it's, we're both lifting a trophy December, the first Saturday in December.
Yes,
so
exactly. Yeah. Walking here, Steve and I talked, what our locker rooms, ideas bouncing off, what we're going to put in there, how our offices are going to be aligned. What we're going to do, where we're going to meet, how we're going to have coffee, what's going to be our water cooler talk. Well, it's going to be about how we're helping each other get better every day, how we're helping each other all win championships. And that's the environment. That's what our teams, our coaches earlier mentioned about how they're all going to each other's sporting events. Well, we're all going to be under one roof now, pretty much. So it's going to be easier for us to finish practice and watch a game, finish practice and go watch a match. Those things are going to always be there now, and that helps winning. The camaraderie helps winning amongst the athletic department. So every day, we get excited for paint colors. We get excited for a TV. We get excited for dry erase boards. We are getting excited for it. Where last year we were excited with the first commitment and the second commitment and so on and so forth. Winning our first game, scoring our first goal. All that is great. Now the building, now the recruiting, now the season next fall. And we're here to win, and we're here to have a good time, and we're here to do it the right way. But it's exciting every day, and as you can tell, I'm a very mild person, so to get excited every day is hard, but we do it.
We know, we've experienced that. I have a feeling the next time we're going to get together, guys, it's going to be in that new building. We'll get to go around, have a little tour, show you your new digs. You guys can show the Grizzly fans
Absolutely
the new digs. Everything's weight room, training room. The water cooler is going to be in the same building as your office now.
Exactly. I don't have to walk anywhere.
It's going to be exciting. We can't wait. Grizzly fans, follow all the latest on GrizzlyAthletics.com. Guys, thanks for joining us today. Until next time,
Thank you.
Go Grizzlies.